Good morning, sir.
Hi, morning. Yeah, good morning, every one of you. We'll start the class. Yeah, in the last class, yesterday's class, we have seen the unit 3, the starting of unit 3. So, contents, we have seen many contents like self and another, human context, moral problems of a society, and a definition of a true society, social desire. Some of the symptoms of a human moral problem of a society: social desire, social fear, social silence, social indifference. So, these are the contents which are involved in that one. Then we have seen many sufferings around the world, and then we have defined what is ourself, what is self goals, then others, how we are related to others, to our near and dears, to somebody else we didn't know anybody, we just met through an accident on the road, and we just met in some NSS camp or something. We just see the examples. Then what is me, and what do you, what we want, and how others are also wanted the same things. So we have just differentiated between me and others. Then there are two popular stories for the concern and neighborhood. So I have just read out that two stories. Then we just define the concern. Then now we will start from here. Then what is concern? Concern is nothing but a response to one's activity in action or word expected from others in different circumstances. So anything, whatever the action you do perform for the benefit of others when they are in need, dire need of that action. So that is called as a concern. And at the same time is nothing but a showing or giving respect to yours neighbors, is nothing but a whoever the colleague is there, whoever your teacher is there, whoever your neighbor is there, whoever your relative is there, everybody you show the respect. So that respect is also called as a concern. That inner feeling is also called as a concern. Then concern is love shown by a man or woman to a people, to all people, avoiding difference of religion, caste, race, sex, and place of birth. So irrespective of where they born, irrespective of what caste they hold, irrespective of what religion they practicing, irrespective of their sex and place of birth, when you respect them, when you love them, so that concern. And concern is a care, love, affection. Others shower on me means nothing but you. Whatever, whoever is showing some concern, who is showing care, love, and affection towards you, is also called as a concern. So then, concern is also means people having some soft corner and consideration for uh, consideration for at the time of need. This is for consideration at the time of need. So this is also called as a concern. Then concern is feeling for others, of caring about others. So whatever, whoever cares about others, whoever cares about self, everything means a concern. So concern is what I expect from others: help, care, security for life. What do you expect? Everything will comes under the concern only. That everything you just expected from the others, help, care, and security, is comes under the concern. The concerns can also mean the love, affection, respect, friendship, gesture, a helping on a hand, or an intention to help. Everything will comes under the concern only. Then concern is a kind of consideration from others to me. for a mere basic existence of a normal life in the society, whatever you are performing the duties and everything for the benefit of you and at the same time for the benefit of society, nothing but a mutual benefit of the society and you. So that is called as a concern. So concern is nothing but a feeling of respect, love, affection, care, security, whatever we are providing to others, whatever we are expecting from others, everything comes under the concern definitions. Then why to show the concern? So everybody will have a question that why we should show the concern. We have everything to eat, we have everything to feed, everything to hear, live, relationship, everything. Then should I show? Yesterday from stories, two moral stories, we have just come a conclusion that we are not independent, we are interdependent with each other. So we should show concern towards others in the society. So there are a popular demand for the answer of why should I show concern. There is a popular three demands. One is a demanded, that concern is demanded by the human society. Then what is this concern which is demanding by this human society? So everything which you perform the duties for everybody is nothing but a concern. So any human society can stand and grow when its members have concern for others. Okay, whenever the members who are living in that particular society can stand by each other, only that particular society will grow. Otherwise, that society will just falls and disintegrates. As we have seen yesterday's from the story of one village or one country where they are not at all just interested in one other's activity. Okay, everything is going for as a selfishness. So that type of society is there. The society is completely going towards to fall and at the same time towards the disintegration. But whenever you have a society who are cooperating with each other, then that society will stand and grow with each other and its members will be encouraged to grow much faster. So that's a popular demand from the society. So in any society, whatever the society, men and women consider certain things as duties which all human beings must perform. So like the many duties are there which all the human beings living in that society has to perform, irrespective of the gender, whether it may be men or women. So like living responsibly. So we should live responsibly. Without any responsibility, there is no life, there is no clear goal. Then respecting and accepting others' rights. There are others also there, their rights is also there. As you think there are many rights for you, but at the same time, many other members are also having a right. So that you have to respect and accept their rights also. Then next duty is protecting and taking care of the dependents, whoever the dependents are there, like father, mother, or whoever dependent on you. So that you have to protect them, you have to take care of them. So that is also one type of duty which is nothing but a concern. So working for the welfare of each other, whatever the welfare you have to whoever the members who are living in the society, you have to take care of them. So that's welfare, you have to live up to the expectations of that one. Then the next duty is safeguarding nature and the environmental ecological wealth, avoiding destruction. So you have to safeguard your nature, you have to safeguard the ecology, the environment, everything you have to safeguard. So then only you will be called as a responsible living being. Then denouncing all atrocities committed by some for selfish purposes and fostering justice and fraternity. So whatever the atrocity in everyday day-to-day life, you may notice many of the atrocities which are going in and around you. You have to just raise your voice against the atrocities. You have to raise your voice towards the justice. You have to fight for the justice. You have to mingle with each and everybody. You have to safeguard everybody's right. So that is also one duty which is comes under the concern. Then learning to know the divine, loving him or her and loving others. So you have to know what is God, what is the divinity. Everything will comes under the concern. So the concern which is demanded by the human society is nothing but performing the duties with a responsible way, is nothing but a concern which the human society is demanding from you. Then when a person has a concern for others, he or she is able to do its social duties. As I described now, the social duties, when you have a concern for others, then only you perform the responsible duty. So concern is very much needed in our human society. So the duties which we have to perform, the social duties, is nothing but a concern which is demanded by that particular human society. Then there is also a very another popular demand, like a concern which is demanded by the human girl. So the girl, the human being who is responsible, will set a goal for himself, will set a goal from for his dependence. Everybody, he has to set a goal. Then only he will be able to live his life in a responsible way. So what is this demand of a human girl? So the concern which is demanded by the human girl is nothing but, so everybody wants to achieve the happiness in their life. So ultimately we have just described in the unit 2 that the ultimate goal of the human being is nothing but to live a happy, to happiness is the life's goal. Then to just reach that happiness as a life goal, there is a demand from a society which is nothing but a concern for the human goal. So concern is very much required for to achieve that human goal, nothing but a happiness as a life goal. So all human beings are limited in different areas in their life. So whatever the lives are there, everybody's life is very different. So they will have their own goals, they will have their own shortfalls, they will have their own limitations. So everybody have their own own talent, and at the same time everybody has their own limitations. So they rely on each other to achieve anything they want when it is beyond their reach, whatever the goal is there. So if you want to reach that goal, you have to take the concern of others also, you have to take the help from others also. You are not independent, everybody is not independent, everybody is interdependent with each other. As in the yesterday's class you might have noticed in that story, the first story which is about the poisonous heart. So in that one, if you see, if that person, whoever the person is there, somebody is requesting to act as a judge. When that person is just acting as a judge, then that uh, if that person is accepted to act as a judge in between the two people who are conflicting with each other, then the problem will be obviously solved. Otherwise the problem will be elaborated, and that problem has reached to that person who just rejected to accept that act as a judge. So that problem is one day or other day it will reach to themselves who are just avoiding that problems. So we should have a happiness as a goal in our life. At the same time, we should take help from others. We should show concern for others. Then only we can reach the happiness as our life goal. So if everyone wants to be happy on this earth, then all must have concern for each other. Then only the happiness as the life goal is very much possible. So this concern is entirely demanded by the human goal. For the human goal also the concern is needed, and at the same time for the human society, for the harmonious society, the concern is very much needed. Then for the concern is concern demanded by the basic contradictions in human life. So okay, there are two parts of the life. One is the love of life, and next one is the craze of death. How can we reach these two paths of a life? So love of life. So everybody will love their own life, but nobody wants to reach their death. So how can we avoid to reach that craze of death, and how can we live up to the expectation of love of life? We just discuss this one. So concern is a must for human life, which has two tendencies as experienced by all men and women. So there are two tendencies to experience the concerns in the life. So one is a love of life, and second one is a craze of death. So love of life is all that builds up, strengthens us, creates us, develops us, and shares self, life, and world. So everything which are dependent, interdependent with each other, which is nothing but a love of life. So concern is part and parcel of this love for life. It is for others or neighbors. So whenever we are showing the concern towards others, then that concern is nothing but a part of this love of life. So we can reach this love of life. On the other hand, if you see the craze for death, so craze for death is limited only to people who are and vested interest. Whoever having the vested interest, nothing but some cruel interest, some wicked interest, so that is called as a vetted interest. Somebody is having a vetted interest or self-centered goals and everything, they will truly reach towards the craze of death. They will just end their life towards the death. So love of life is not at all possible with them. So those people are found attached unnaturally to other persons. So they will just, for example, homosexuality. So this has been banned by many countries. Why? Because this will leads towards this craze of death. So many people are just, many countries are just accepting this one also. So this is a contradictory statement. We cannot generalize this one. So so this type of people who are the wicked people, who shows vested interest, who are self-centered people, they will show the unnatural attraction, unnatural attachment towards the others in the society, and things, whatever the things are there, unnatural things, they will show towards the attraction. Then craze for death. Usually this craze for death will destroy, weakens, stagnates our life and keeps everything to oneself. So whoever they are self-centered, they will practice their self-centered goal. That type of persons will just end up in the craze of death. So it does not affirm a life. It does not create any affirmation in these lives. It denies the world. It is found with every form of slavery. So this type of craze of death will be in any form of slavery. Whenever you are accepting, whenever you are just asking somebody to act as your slave, so you are approaching towards the craze of death. You are not at all going towards the love of life. So everybody's goal in the life should be, there are many contradictions in our human life. So though from these contradiction, you have to choose love of life, unless you don't have to choose this one, craze of death. If you want to reach love of life, you have to choose the first one, which just strengthens your relationship, which just strengthens, you have to share yourself, which develops everything, is nothing but this love of life. But which just weakens, stagnates your life, which just destroys your life, is nothing but craze of death. So among these two contradictions in your life, you have to choose first one. So in this human contradiction, even if men and women want to be more and more human, love of life. So love of life is concern of others. So this love of life also demands a concern for others. So concern for others is demanded by the human society, and the concern for others is demanded by the human girl, and concern for others is demanded by the life of love of life. So all these three concerns, all these three demands are they are directly indicating that we should show concern for others. So this is very important, to show the concerns for others. So otherwise there is no life, there is no growth in our society, there is no healthy society who is just growing at all. Hello, am I audible to you? Can anybody please respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir, you're
sir.
audible.
Okay, okay. No disturbance is coming. Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay, all these are concerns which are demanded by the human society. So then man in a society. So everybody knows that we are not independent in this world. We are interdependent. We are interdependent on each other, fellow human beings, fellow inhumans, or some everybody. We are just in demand duties. Our society will demand many concern, many love, affection, everything from us. So man in a society, we have to see in a broad context this issue. So nobody is independent in this world. We are interdependent on each other. So we should find harmony among our societal members. So we should find harmony with various religions, castes, various peoples, various types of peoples. We have to remain in harmony. In order to remain in harmony, the first we have to give some gift. We have to give some gifts to the societal members. So what are these gifts? What is the greatest gift? When somebody is just asked you, what is the greatest gift a person can give to another person in this world? So what is this greatest gift? If you think from your heart, deep inside from your heart, you will answer that the best gift is nothing but a love we can offer to the other person. But when you just think of your mind, the answer for this question is nothing but a money. Money makes many things. Money is everything in this world according to our society, according to our behaviors. Consider, whenever you ask your heart about this answer, what is the best gift? What is the greatest gift? You'll find the answer is love. Love is the only thing which is just taking us, which is just leading us towards the righteous path. Then what is this love? So this love we already discussed in the previous unit, the three components of love. That love only governs the society. That love only will governs the entire world. But unnaturally, the people are just going towards the money. Money is important for them. Most of the people, most of us, it is very important. Money is important, rather than we accept peace, love, honesty, or many other things in our life. We just accept money as the source of our happiness, money as the source of our living and everything. No doubt money we required for everything, but peace is also required, but love is also required. Whenever we show love and concern towards others, then our life will be much happier than whenever we have an abundant amount of money. So This type of approach, this type of question, you personally ask yourself, what is important to you? What is the greatest for you? Just simply whether it's a love which is offered by your mother, father, whether your relatives, whether your grandma, grandfather, everything. That love is very important, or just inheritance of their property, inheritance of their money, inheritance of their whatever the belongings and everything just makes you happy, or their love makes you happy. Just think about this question, just answer by yourself. Then man is impelled to live in his society by values which are handed down to him in his family, school, community, peer group, and society. Whatever the groups are there, peer group is nothing but your circle, your friend circle, and everything. So, the values only we will receive whatever that everything will be shared by this peer group or the family or society. Every value they will share. So using that values only we are living whatever to the expectations of the society. When a person relates himself or herself to others in society, certain social values are involved. So what are these social values? So first, if you see the social values, whenever you are to remain in harmony with other person in this world, you should adopt some of the social values as we described in the social duties. Many of the social duties we described earlier in this one. So previously in this one. So these are the social values which we should carry forward to live in a harmonious society. The first one among, if you see in this grid of human values and sub values, so this one. So this one, the human values. So right conduct, we should have a right conduct. We should possess a right conduct towards others. We should respect. So the peace, the sub values among these right conducts is we should know our manners. We should behave ourselves. Helpfulness, responsibility, independence, perseverance. Perseverance is nothing but the ability of yourself to lead in a difficult situation. That is called your perseverance, your courage. How quick you are responding, how quick, how fast you are just accepting that one without any fear is called as a courage. So courageous under the right. The next value is a peace. In these peace, the sub values of the patience, concentration, positiveness, acceptance, self discipline, thankfulness, contentment, and everything will comes under the sub values and the main value of a peace. If you have a peace in your life, you should show all these things. You should have all these sub values into you. If you want a truthful life, okay, the truth, next value is the truth. Then the sub value is a sub value is nothing but a truthfulness, creativity, honesty, fairness, trust, reflection. Okay, reflection of ethics like that. So reflection, everything you need to adopt these sub values, everything you need to adopt into you. Then if you want love as a love as a value, there are many sub values which governs this overall value as a love. So what is a kindness? You should show kindness to others. So friendship, forgiveness, generosity, compassion, tolerance, and service you should show when you have a love as your value. Then non-violence. Next value is a non-violence. For this non-violence, the sub-values of the consideration. Yes, you should consider that everybody has their own goal. Everybody has their own values, a value set. So you should consider that one. Cooperation. You should cooperate with others. Then global stewardship. Then loyalty, active citizenship, justice, respect, everything this comes under the sub value. So under this value, non-violence, everything comes under the sub value. Then what is important to you? You can just ask this question to yourself: what is the best gift? What is the greatest gift in your life? What you expect from the others? What you expect from the parents or the grandparents and everything? You just answer this question on yourself. Then you could find that love is the basic thing. Love is the most respectable value which we are just accepting from others, which we are just expecting from others. Then only we can have a peaceful life in our peaceful life throughout the world. Then respect is earned, honesty is appreciated. Yes, we should appreciate the honesty and respect. We should earn for ourselves with our behavior, with our manners, with our responsibility, with our helpful nature. We should earn our respect. Then trust is gained. You should, when you are living a truthful life, then the trust will automatically come in your way. Then somebody will trust you. Undoubtedly, they will trust you. Like if you are giving an exam, standing by your truthfulness without copying in everything. Teacher will trust you obviously in the next exam. Yes, this candidate is like that, so he couldn't copy in the examination, so trust will be gained. Then the loyalty is written. So whenever somebody is just showing a generosity to you, just you have to return them back. In the previous um, the doctor has come to help some of the villagers when they are met with a serious disease, then they are not paying back to him. That's called a disloyalty. They are not at all loyal. So whenever helping you in your needed times, so you should help them. That show your loyalty to them. Then next one is the social values, or the most relevant but most difficult values in the lives of man and woman. Yes, social values are there. All these values are very much needed in our harmonious society, but the practicing them is very much difficult. Why it is difficult? Because there are many moral problems are involved in this one. There are many moral symptoms are there. Symptoms to have a moral problems. There are many symptoms, so that symptoms will just lower our zeal to accept a social values, many social values. So that's our very relevant values, but we could not accept them as such because there are many limitations, there are many difficulties. So for instance, if a person wants to be generous to others, or wants to respect a family, wants to accept all religions, all cultures, all caste and all languages without any domination, then what happens uh, with his communal harmony? If you want to remain in a communal harmony with other communities, what happens? What type of obstacles he just facing? Like if you see, if you have, if you accept all the religions in the world, as everybody is united, everybody is same, like that, if you accept that one, the obstacle, first obstacle which is coming to your way is adherence to one's religious belief. So there are many religious beliefs, many values are there in each and every religion. You need to just understand that values, but we need to understand the difference in that values. When somebody is saying according to the religion, their religion, it is correct, that particular value is correct, but your religion is considering that value is wrong, then you should consider accept that there is difference between the religion and religion. Then only you can remain in harmony with other religions only. Then, whenever you consider the communal harmony, the first obstacle is adherence to one's religious belief. First, your religious beliefs will be, you should find the difficulty in adhering to your own beliefs and religious beliefs, and desire to dominate others. So, wherever the religion is there, we are living in such a society now is our religion, the people will behave like that. Our religion is great. My religion is great. Your religion is somewhat lower than my religion. Like that, people, we are living in that society, so everybody wants to dominate the other religion, every religion wants to dominate the other religion. That type of behavior is there, that type of behavior has been imbibed in us. So we should lower that imbibed nature. So to that's the main obstacle for us. So why this type of obstacle is coming our way? Because the fear of being destroyed. So whenever you are accepting all the other religions, you will feel that a fear that they will destroy our religion, they will dominate our religion next. Maybe we are accepting now that one, maybe they will just not accept our religion in the next turn. So when their turn will come, they will destroy our religion. Like that, there are many fears out there. Because of that fear only, we are facing the obstacles, like we don't want to accept the other religion, we don't want to allow other religions to come in our way. So we should have a communal harmony, but that does not mean that you should adopt that religion. You should not adopt that religion, you should allow them. Okay, you should allow other religions also to just practice their own religion. So everybody is independent, everybody can practice their own religion. So everything is possible. You need not to fear that when somebody we are accepting that religion, may possibly they will destroy our religion. There's no such a criteria. Nobody can destroy one religion. The religions which are existing in the world will exist for the n number of years. There is no point in fearing about that. Then the next, communal harmony. Yes, we should remain in a communal harmony with others. Then what are the other obstacles we could face? So love of one's mother tongue. When you have your own religion, that will have their own mother tongue will have. So when you accept other mother tongues also, then the obstacle which comes your way is love of one's mother tongue and wish to develop it. So you should find that you will love your own mother tongue. You should know that you have to develop your mother tongue, but it doesn't mean that you should suppress other mother tongues also. So why you should just separate that one? Because the fear comes your way is that other language, other mother tongues will be developed compared to your own mother tongue. So because of this fear, we are not allowing other languages to grow up. So everybody has their own mother tongues, everybody has their own languages, everybody has their own beliefs and everything. So we should allow them to grow. We should grow and we should allow them to grow. Then only the communal harmony will be possible. We should not fear them. We should not fear about that growth of that particular language. We should fear. We should just develop our own language. We should just create our own way to develop our own language. That doesn't mean that we should suppress other languages. Then the next obstacle is one is true to one's culture. There are many cultures in our society. So okay, everybody is safeguarding their own culture, but the fear which comes their way is the disturbed and frightening by invading cultures. So this is the major fear, which are just invading everybody. Everybody considers that if just we just accept that another person's culture, then what happens to our culture? That culture will be just invaded by somebody else. Then our culture will be entirely destroyed. So we will consider like that. So we don't have to consider like that. Yes, we should safeguard our culture. That's a known fact. But we should accept non-violence. We should accept a good behavior, good manners, and a non-violence path. Okay, non-violence path. Through the non-violence path only, that communal harmony or that adoption of the other languages, adoption of the other mother tongue, adoption of the other communities will be accepted. But with the usage of violence, you should not dominate other religion, other caste, other uh, mother tongues, other cultures. You should not dominate using the violence. You should go without the violence. You should accept the non-violence path. You should just could be able to develop your own mother tongue, your own religion, your own culture. You should develop that one. Yes, nobody will be against that one. You should develop your own culture, mother tongue, your own religion, everything, but using the non-violence path. You should not adopt a violence path in any means. Then only a communal harmony will be very much possible in our society. We should remain in harmony with other persons who are there in our society. So this was the social values, everything about the social values. We should adopt them in our lives. Then only is communal harmony or the social values we could give to our next generation. Then only it is possible. Then the next context is the human context. Okay, what is this human dimension? So how many dimensions are there where the human beings are living in this air? So in which part of the society the human beings are living? So there are majorly three types of societies are there in our where the human beings are living. So one type of society is slum area, then a village area, then urban area. So these three types of agglomerations only the large part of human beings are just residing, just they are staying there. So how the human context is there, how they are just behaving in the all these dimensions. So when a man or woman is born in this world, so he or she faces the human society. So first we should born to face the human society. Whenever we are from our womb, context is three dimensional. One is first you should look yourself. So self to self dimension. That is yourself. First you should look first yourself. Then you should just look to the other, self to other dimension. That's the other dimension. Then self to divine dimension, self to God dimension. So all these dimensions will be there. Using this three dimension only, humans will relate to their society, to their particular immediate societies. So there are three components of a self concept. So what is the self? Self to self means. So there are three components of a self concept. One is a self image. When you see yourself in a mirror, then you can encounter your self image. What are you? What are up to you? Then ideal self, self esteem, your true using your strengths and weaknesses. You will develop your self esteem. So that's your self esteem. That means your self esteem. What are you? Then ideal self. What is the profession and everything you possess? What are you up to the expectations? You yourself, self to self. Then the concept of self to others. One second. Yeah. What are the concepts of self to other? If you see, whenever you consider self to self, so self to self means yourself, that is. Then at some point in time, you should relate to some other persons in your society. So how this self to others is related. So first is independent view of a self. If you view yourself in a nutshell, so this is a shell inside you, yourself you are viewing. So in the independent view, you should view that father is there, mother is there, friend is there, sibling is there, co-worker is there. So the relationship, the bonding between them is very much dependent on the how far you are attached to that particular person. Friendship, usually the friend, some n number of friends you will consider very nearer to you. The bondage between you and your friend will be two or three friends, best friends we will say. Some of the friends will be there who are far away. The bondage between you and that person will be somewhat distanced. Then mother, you will love your mother and father. So the relationship between you and mother will be somewhat attached and bonded. Then the siblings somewhat depending on the bonding between them, you and them, that will be the bonding will be there or not. How far, how distance that bonding will be there, it will be defined. When you consider as the interdependent view of a self, so you are dependent, you consider that you are dependent on everybody, every sibling, co-worker, friend, father, mother, everybody. When you consider, you are dependent on everybody. So that is called as a interdependent view or interdependent dimension of a self. So how you relate yourself to the others inside this world depends on your view of viewing yourself with others, relating yourself with others. So there are two types of viewing yourself to others. That is, one is independent view and next one is interdependent view. So in order to have a self to others, in order to just focus on the self to others, a person has many spheres in which he or she meets different personalities or living beings. So throughout his born to death, he will meet many personalities in his life. So how he is related with that particular persons who are meeting at different stages of their life. When you are first born, so he or she, whether who, whatever the gender, that person belongs to the parents and family, parents and family. So family will be very nearer to them. That person will completely belongs to their family. After some maturity, some period will come. Some mature stages around 14 to 19 stage of a teenagers. Then that particular after the teenage, crossing of teenage or adulthood, that particular person marries a person of opposite sex. So one may decide to live for others through a tharua, aesthetic life. So that is called as a aesthetic life, which is living for others is called as a aesthetic life. So after reaching the maturity, that particular person will be related to somebody which is opposite to his sex. Then he will be married. So he will develop his own family. Then the next stage is he or she brings up children. So then he has to relate with the children. So here he is related with the family or parents. Here in the married life, he has to relate with the opposite sex or his wife or his spouse. Then he has to relate with the children who are coming his way. So the next is friendly to strangers. Meet many body who are strangers to you in the road, right, and everything. In every way you have to meet, and somebody will become your friend, somebody will become your best friend. You should relate to them also. Then realistically, if you speak about that one does have difference of opinion with others. Yes, we do have a difference of opinions. That's the harmony. Harmony means nothing but accepting a difference between us and others. And when it is wide and very much, the friendship is broken and enemies are made. Then enemies are also there in our life. So how the enemies are coming in our way? When there is a difference in opinion, you are not at all ready to accept the difference in opinion. Then there is a quarreling, there is a conflict between the person to person. Then that friendship will break, that a wonderful love feeling which is called a friendship will be broken. Then enemies are coming into our way. Not only our family, friends, children, spouse and everything we have to deal, we have to deal with the enemies also in our life. So at some point in time, you have to relate yourself with the enemies also. Then finally, the person lives in the company of some so many other lower living beings. So we should find a company with other lower beings also, like animals, fish, birds. Somebody will likes a bird, somebody will likes a fish, somebody will likes some animals. They will be attracted. So that's we have to relate. We are not at all independent. We are dependent on each other. This shows that in throughout our life, from the born birth stage to the death stage, we are related with many persons, many people, many lower living beings or subhumans. We have to relate many. So in everybody, we have to relate ourselves with others in this entire world. Then these are the topics for discussion. So the first one is, what is the connection between these contradicting values? So contradicting values is, one is love and another one is money. So why the so much importance is given for the money, or so much importance is given for the love? So these are the three topics which are there for the discussion. So what is the connection between these two contradicting love versus to give in the next first first priority to the love, what happens to your life, what happens to the particular person, then how does one live when he or she gives first preference to money? So these are the three topics for discussion. In the next class we'll try to discuss this one. So until then, you would find very much comfortable what is the definitions, what is the love, what is the definitions of entire concern, why should we show concern, why should we should not pay the importance for the money. Only for the living we want a money, not for everything money is defined. Now we want for everything. So like that way, in the next class we are going to discuss on any of these three topics one by one. Then next one is the human context. So you are looking in the three-dimensional view. The self you are relating to yourself, and self you are relating to others, self you are relating to some divinity. So that's the three dimensions of your life. Then where these human beings who are interdependent with each other are living. So they are living according to human context. First, they are living in the rural scheme. So what is this rural scheme? So there are three human contexts here. One is the rural scheme. Next one is the slum, how the slums are coming up. Then next one is the urban context or urban scenario. How the urban cities are created, what are the disadvantages or advantages of the urban cities, how the facilities are different from the rural society and the urban society, what are lacking behind in the slums, why the slums has been created. We have to discuss this one. So out of these, the human context, the first one is the rural scheme. So what is this rural scheme? So everybody, when one visits to the village or in any district, so villages are just located in some mandal. Then that mandal is in turns located in some district. That district in turn is located in some state. Then that state is in turn located in some country. Then that country is in turns located in some continent. So that continent is some in terms located in some world. So entirely the world is divided into small countries, state villages. So when you see the lower shelf, that is a village. So village life. So one may just notice throughout the passing through the world, there may be a huts and the houses which are lived by the rural people. Then most of the villages have one main street. They will have only one main street. They are not at all developed with a lot of roads. Then there is a temple or a place of worship in the middle of the village. Usually these temples will be located in the middle of the village. Around this temple, the what we call this one, every house or the huts are just situated. Then only one main road will be there, which is passing throughout this village. Then there is a meeting place for any village planning or a panchayat, or we can call this as a panchayat raj or a informal courts. That is called as the informal courts. To govern this, to develop their particular village, there will be a panchayat. To plan for them everything, there will be a panchayat. Usually a drinking water pool and a lake are invariably found in the surroundings. So the drinking water lakes or a pond or something will be found inside the villages. The agricultural field. So there will be some agricultural fields also there throughout this road. The agricultural fields and the cremation ground. And the cremation grounds are also part of the geographical picture of this particular hamlet of the village. Most of the villages have a mud roads. So but for passing into the different houses, there will be some only the mud roads. Only the main road will be some tar road or something, a cement road. So if a village is a developed one, if you consider the village is a developed one, it has shops, post office, telephone, or a rice mill, weekly market, or elementary and higher secondary and theaters will be there in that particular village. If that is a sub village or something underdeveloped village, then this all the amenities will be lacking in that village. So a disturbing fact in this village is that almost every village has a small hamlet attached to it and called a cherry. So whatever that small hamlets are, that is called cherry. The man usually lower caste people will be located far away from the middle of this village. So that is called as a cherry. So this is the usual practice in the many of the villages in India. The family is found in such villages or cherry or some kind of a mixture of a joint family and a nuclear family. So in other words, we can say 4 or 5 pairs of married persons. So in the cherry or in the lower caste persons, 4 or 5 married couples will stay in a small hut. Okay, they will share a small hut with a married couples, around 5 to 6 married couples. They will stay in the small hut as a man from village put it. So that hut will be constructed by the village person or something. So they will live around 5 to 6 couples will be living in a small hut. The cooking, eating, sleeping, etc. Everything will be carried out in the small hut. Like that, the cherries are there, that cherry or a lower caste people who are residing in the villages is a common practice in India. So today's man and women living in the rural region are bounded by the village regulations as well as a caste bindings. This is usually practiced in our India. The caste bindings, upper caste people will be living in some middle part of the village, and lower caste people will be living in some far away to the village or the outskirts of the village. So that is called as a cherry. So there are so many villages in our country which makes rules like voluntary prohibition. So nowadays India is very much developing. So there are many villages are also there. They will prohibit many of the illicit activities like banning of the illicit liquor. They will usually ban the illicit liquors. So they are modern people. They are modern village adopted people. They will also have a inhabitants or a habitats of a lower caste, mixture of the lower caste and upper caste in the same village. Not they are not at all keeping the cherries uh, as a far away places from the villages. So that's a modern village it is called. Then there are also villages which bind the inhabitants to abide by the caste meetings. So there are many types of people so there who just involved in the caste meetings also. This is also a usual practice in our India. Such caste councils decides to work for the development for many villages in which the same caste people live. So they will just concentrate only their caste peoples, upbringing of their own caste people. So that type of villages are also there. Or they decide how to face the enmity of other caste in that part of the country. So they will just form as a small aggregation of their particular themselves. How can they eradicate the enmity from the other caste? So they will discuss the among themselves. So that type of villages are also there. In most of the villages, the majority of the people are said to belong to one caste. Okay, many people are there. They will belongs to one caste in the many villages. They are only the landlords of that villages. So everybody who are residing as a lower caste, they will just help them in the fields or the cultivation and everything. However, there are few families which do not belong to that particular caste. Nowadays, in the modern villages, there are very few families will be there. They will be mingled with other castes also. Lower caste and upper caste people will also be mingled with each other. So in a village, farmers or any caste, okay, single caste if you see, or living in good numbers. So whoever the single caste will living in a good numbers, they will just acts as a landlords and everything. So whoever they are just calling as a casual laborers or something, they will use them in their fields, in their cultivation. Blacksmiths. You see some village known for the blacksmith, family of the blacksmiths. Some village will be known for the textile activities. Some village will be known for the carpentry activities. Some village will be known for the thieves and everything. There are many villages in and around the in our India. So there are many activities which are going on in some of these activities. But modern villages, modern type of activities, modern type of villages or the modern type of people will adopt, will just eradicate this type of slavery, this type of cherry cultures, which encourages to keep the lower caste people far away from the villages. So um, this type of practices are usually they are avoiding in the modern village activities. So they will usually discuss the Panchayat Raj will form with a different caste, and every caste will be there inside this Panchayat Raj in India, rather than just limiting that Panchayat only for the upper caste or only for some dominated caste or something. So there are many villages in India. They have upper caste only can use the water in the ponds. Upper caste only can go to the cremated area. The lower caste will have to go to the other cremated area. There are many villages out there nowadays. Also, there are many exist, but we need to concentrate to eradicate this type of cherry culture, to eradicate this type of lower caste and upper caste culture. We have to mingle with each other. We have to mingle with everybody. So this is the human context of a rural scheme. If you notice clearly in the rural context, there are many lacking facilities from the government also. So like the electricity, lack of power for the continuous power, lack of many amenities like roads, street lights and everything. There are many lackings in this one. But what about the slums? The next human context is a slum. So how do the slums will be formed? When people do not get enough work or wage for livelihood, they plan to get out of their villages. Usually, if you see, then there is no livelihood there is no earning, there is no money inside that village. What happens? There is no wages. Nobody is there to give the wages. There is no proper wage culture in that. What happens? People urban agglomeration. We have to go to the urban agglomerations. Okay, then what happens? The other factors that chase them out of the rural scheme are competition among big landlords that slowly make them marginal farmers. There are many small farmers will be there. Usually the small farmers are nothing but defined according to the government is less than 2 acres of land, and the large farmers who are defined as a greater than 2 acres. 2 acres of land who possess the persons who possess the greater than 2 acres of land will be defined as the large farmers or the big farmers, and the persons who possess below 2 acres of land who are defined as a marginal farmers or the small farmers. Whenever the landlords just have a habit of just grabbing that parcel of lands, then what they will do, they will just torture them, or they will just adopt some tactical means in order to take land from the lower lying people. Then what happens? This landlords will be benefited very much, whereas the landless people will be increased due to the lack of any amenities, lack of any cultivation, or lack of any livelihood. So what happens? This entire farmer, small farmers together with the casual laborers will just go to the urban agglomeration to work in the construction field or something. So then what happens? They have to just farm some areas for their living. So indirectly, the small farmers spoiled due to the big landlords, and the small farmers who are not spoiled by the middleman. So without giving any market prices, they are spoiled by the middleman. They are spoiled by the landlords. All these persons together will reach to some urban agglomeration where they will usually do a practice of construction activities. They will participate largely in a construction activities. These people, after working, they have to just form some residential areas. So their residential areas will usually looks like this one, the slum areas. We will call as a slum. Together, if you see the around the slum areas, there will be a big buildings. So that's the people staying there. But what about these people who are also human beings who are coming due to the thirst of a big landlord, due to the thirst of a middleman? Their lives has been destroyed. They are coming to work in the urban agglomeration. Then these people for the living, they just created some small huts. Then that huts only we are calling as slum areas. Usually, if you ask some persons or some person who is living in the urban society, what is your perception on a slum area, then that person usually think that the city is dirty because of the slums. They will answer like that: the city is dirty because of the slums. They will consider the slums as a very dirty places. The city must be clean because of the slums. To just have to locate this other places. There is houses, some dwellers. So in the urban agglomeration, that's are a tightly packed. Many usually in the many areas, they will be in a tightly packed areas. So there is no land for them to build in some big buildings, some good buildings for the for these slum dwellers. So usually these people will be looked as the dirt or looked as some unnecessary or the subhumans in our urban societies. And slum dwellers are the anti-socials. People who are rich in the urban societies, they will consider this as the anti-social elements. But this is not the case. This is, we need not to consider like this one. Then when they are given flat, they sell. The people will have a perception that if you give the flat to the some slum dwellers, they will usually sell that flats, and they will once again create some slums in that area. They will have that perception. They are irresponsible. They will treat them. They will just consider that them as a very irresponsible. Like not only in the agricultural fields or not only small farmers or the marginal farmers, but also this is the case with many government or private employees. Until the clerical cadre, if you consider their salaries will be very low in the as government as well as this education. So their salaries will be very low. Usually they will also reside in some slum areas only. They will just purchase the some huts or something. They will reside in that one. So why the slums are just creating in every urban agglomeration? Because due to the thirst of this big landlord, due to the thirst of this middlemen, and due to the thirst of due to the difference in the salary packages, difference in the minimum living standards, which are kept by the which are kept by the rules of various governments. Due to this only, the urban slums or the many slums are day by day just increasing. So we have to think a lot about them, how we can just eradicate this type of culture, the slum cultures, from our urban agglomerations or our rural agglomeration. We have to think ourselves. This is also a one human context where we are lacking behind. From villages to some of the people will coming to live in the urban societies. They usually just habituated to live in the slum areas. Then next one is the human context. Yeah, time is complete. Okay, in the next class, we will try to discuss this one, human context regarding the urban circles. What are the urban circles are there? Then true societies, whether we are up to the mark of a true society, the definition of a true society, whether the India is up to the mark of the true society or not. We will see that one in the next class. I hope you understood this one.